Shalom Israel. First and foremost, I do want to give all praise, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua B'Shem Kakadash, that belongs to the apostles and else great millstone for teaching us his truth. Peace and blessings to the hope like visible Yahweh is the name of the Heavenly in ancient Hebrew. Ba'Shem is the name, Yahweh Shai is the name of the begotten Son. Back in the lesson, and as he within the title, we're going to be going to the situation over there in Indonesia where the sky turns red. And we've also put in the title how we're seeing signs of the end, or end time signs, whatever spirit leads me to put the title as. But as we continue to progress later into the days, you're gonna see a lot of hectic and crazy things beginning to take place and unfold. And it's listed within the scriptures of various things that we would see dealing with these signs within the heavens, the sun, the moon, the stars, and these chariots are especially included in that. And when I say chariots, I'm speaking of the so-called UFOs today, or UAPs, and all these various labels that they're called today, but within the scriptures, within the Bible, they're known as chariots. Also like in the clouds, wheel in the middle of a wheel, etc. But I came across this article. I thought I'd make a lesson, going into it, because we are seeing omens and signs of the end of this place, which you just had, I want to say, a little over 2 weeks ago. You had a kind of a replica of a the Statue of Liberty fall. I forget the exact location, but you had that fall, and that being an omen of what's to come to Babylon the Great, aka America, a great fall. As well as seeing various end time signs, as in Luke 21, Matthew 24, Second Ezra's various scriptures, going to the various things that we would see, which is especially done with these signs within the heavens and the sky. I'm trying to close out these ads. There we go. But it says skies in Indonesia turn blood red in rare optical phenomenon. And it said, no, it's not the end of the world, but science. And of course, you have damage control being done. There's always scientific terms slapped onto the things that you see, especially even dealing with these chariots. It's just the sunlight reflecting off the clouds and the water and the particles and this and that, and this is what you're seeing, a weather phenomenon. No. But as the residents in southern Pandeglang, if I'm saying that correctly, Indonesia, were left in awe after the sky turned an intense shade of red. So it's further going to show the times we are in and are coming into. Great destruction is coming to this place. And we're seeing the fall of it. As I made that point earlier, we're seeing the various omens and signs of the times of our Lord Yahweh Shai's soon return. And I read a bit, probably read the last three right here and get these scripts at hand. Shouldn't be too long. Listen, just a quick update. Go into the news. As well as getting scriptures as to what's taking place and unfolding, and what's getting ready to take place. But so many locals took to social media to share videos of the rare event on the afternoon of the 18th December, sparking confusion and concern in the community. However, this phenomenon was actually a natural atmospheric optical effect. I mean, come on. You see, when the light reflects off the clouds, and at this time of day, with the right weather, the right temperature, the higher colliding with the cold. I mean, come on. But however, the phenomenon was actually a natural atmospheric optical effect known as Sirakin Rayleigh. But this is according to 2016 journal titled "The Atmosphere of Hot Stars," yada yada yada. But that's the point. Now we're going to get into the scriptures. Further going to show the times that we were in, things that we are expecting to see. Which I just made a lesson, I want to say just the other day, going into a supposed portal opening up within the sky, as well as various other things that we're seeing within the heavens. But he's listed in the scriptures of these peculiar sights and things that we would see. You get other translations going to unusual sights in the sky. Jeremiah 10:2 to be not dismayed at the signs of heaven. You have people that are seeing these things and are beginning to panic, freaking out, bugging out, wondering what they are seeing. Why is this happening? What's going on? Further, going to show the importance of having this wisdom, this knowledge, and understanding. Because these last days, you're going to have people left without answers, and they're going to be seeking for those answers when they were in front of them this whole time. A quick Google search can tell you things. But to go to show just how focused these people are on the wrong things. They could not care any less about this truth. Especially when it's supposed to be dealing with the wicked of our people. Jake sees these things, just another day, especially taking everything this devil says, speaking of Esau, Edom at face value. Not batting an eye, but when it comes to your own people, warn you of these things to come, the things that this devil especially getting ready to do. You're crazy, he wouldn't do that, this and that. But you'll soon come to know that a prophet has been among you, that you were warned, that you were told, because the Lord has set up watchmen, prophets among you to do so. But start off with the scripture, Acts 2:19 through 20. It's like I was kind of rambling. But then I'll show wonders in heaven above, and signs in the earth beneath, blood and fire and vapor of smoke. So that main point going to, I'll show wonders in heaven above, and signs in the earth beneath, blood and fire and vapor of smoke. So these are the things that we are seeing. And as we continue to progress in the latter days, these things are only going to increase, because those birth pains are going to be at its highest, at its peak, because we're nearing the end of this place. We're nearing that deliverance. Verse 20, the sun shall be turned into darkness and the moon into blood before the great and notable day of the Lord come. And these signs, they have significance. They have meaning. People will see these blood moons, these eclipses, and think there's no meaning behind it. That's just a natural occurrence. That's it. And yet, go back to one of the latest eclipses that took place, where you had a literal X being formed over America. I mean, it can't get any clearer than that. You have that saying, X marks the spot. This is where the main destruction and judgment take place. I'll read the last bit one more time. The sun shall be turned into darkness and the moon to blood before the great and notable day of the Lord comes. So these are the various things we would see now take place before Lord Yahushua would return. And we are seeing these things. Luke 21:25, and it says, "And shall be signs in the sun and the moon and in the stars, and upon the earth the stress of nations, with perplexity to see in the waves roaring." So further on to that point. But I do want to get a couple other verses, just down to the 28th. Which I'm trying to open the full thing. There we go. Now turn over to verse 26. Men's hearts fail for fear and for looking after those things which are coming in the earth. For the powers of heaven shall be shaken, these men be shook, and they're going to be afraid, terrified, especially once these chariots, these angels begin to show out even more. Verse 27, and then shall they see the Son of Man, and especially dealing with various other things that's going to unfold and take place. And you had over there in China at one point, two suns appeared to be in the sky. NASA also mentioned, don't be surprised if you see two moons, where the case was, but let's continue on. Just further going to show the times we are in, times like no other. Verse 27, and then shall they see the Son of Man, I will shine, come in a cloud with power and great glory. That cloud, speaking of a chariot. Verse 28, and when these things begin to come to pass, and look up into your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh. We're almost out of here. Get a couple more. This is 2nd Ezra, chapter 9, verse 1 through 4. Main point being verse 1. And it says, he answered me then and said, of course it goes black screen, which was load. He answered me then and said, measure the time diligently in itself, and when thou see part signs past, which I told you before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time when the highest will begin to visit which he made. And how do we measure the times that we were in? Going to the top of the verse. Via these signs and these prophecies, man. We're nearing the end of this place, and it's crystal clear of that. Verse 3. This also be another telltale sign. Therefore, when there should be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world. Just a month or two ago, you had tons of riots taking place. Capitol buildings being lit ablaze over there in, I believe, Indonesia. You had Nepal, France. You have other couple locations also. I believe over there in Thailand, you even had martial law declared at one point. So a prelude and example of what's soon to come to Babylon the Great, aka America. But verse 4, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake those things from the days that before thee, even from the beginning. So we are quite literally at the end stages of this movie. And we're nearing that climax. Now Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 3, and it says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end shall speak and not lie, though it tarry, wait for it. Though it tarry, wait for it, because surely come, it will not tarry, meaning it will not delay. These things will happen and will come to pass. And what is that vision speaking of? These prophecies. See, this vision is for a future time. And we're in those appointed times as written and spoken of within the scriptures. So those that are not seeking the Lord, those that are not repenting, those that are not getting right with Yahweh Bashmal Shai, doing what you can in order to be in the good graces, of the Lord. Hey, great trouble is coming your way. Romans 13:11, and it says that the time now is high time to wake out of sleep. For now is salvation nearer than we believed. Also, go back to the middle part. Not speaking of a physical sleep, but a spiritual one. Many of our people are still tossing and turning, not wanting to, wake up. Let the alarm being sounded. And for example, if you leave your alarm on your phone on for so long, it'll pretty much silence itself. And soon these warnings will no longer be sent out, because the Lord is going to remove his prophets off the highways and byways, off the internet, to where you won't be able to obtain this truth any longer. It's also further going to show the men of the Lord's value is going to skyrocket. You also in Isaiah 4:1, Isaiah 13. Going to shall make a man more precious, than fine gold. Paraphrasing Isaiah 32, the men of the Lord be in that hiding place. And various other examples, but that's the point right there. We're gonna make a quick lesson going to the sky being turned red over there in Indonesia, as we'll speak on the omens and signs that we were seeing that this place is coming to an end. There's no coincidence in various things like this happening and taking place. But I didn't close out. Give all praise, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Al Shai Ba'Shem Kakadash and Shalom. See you next one, Lord's will.